I do believe that the last time that I sat down and recorded an episode, I was in a hotel because all of my family, everyone in the household caught COVID, and I was like, yes, time for me to go. So I was in a hotel while I recorded, and now I'm back home. I am trying to remain consistent. I said in the first episode that I recorded when I start back recording that I am trying to remain consistent. So I have been going through, like, going back and forth on topics that I talk about. The way that I come up with topics or whatever is pretty organic. I have like a theme, like five things, I guess you would say, five headers or 5 points that the organization is built off of. And as topics come to me, I talk about it. And so I've been going back and forth on certain topics like, do I want to talk about that? But I'm going to continue to do what feels natural to me, and just start posting. I really feel that sometimes we have times when we feel like we are missing out. And I know people are like, whatever is for you is for you. And, you don't have to worry about missing your blessing. But sometimes you feel like that. There have definitely been times in like my career or even like relationships when I feel like I dropped the ball on that. I remember when a few years ago, I was looking for a new position because I didn't like the position that I was in. I didn't feel like I was being utilized the way that I needed to, and I definitely was not making the money that I wanted to. And networking, putting in jobs, all of that. Nothing was coming. So one of my brothers introduced me to one of his friends that he knew in DC, and me and her organically clicked. She knew I was looking for a new position, and when something came up in her organization, she called me and she was like, look, we have a position that just opened up. I think you would be good for it. I definitely know you're qualified for it. Like, can you start? I'm like, yeah. Like, when do y'all want me? They wanted me in 2 weeks. So I was living in Virginia at the time, had a whole apartment. I was like, how can I do this? Like, I don't know if I can swing that. But I have family, I have friends in DC, Maryland. It would have been uncomfortable for a while, but I definitely could have pulled it off. But I was afraid to just jump out on faith and just do it. Later on, there have been, or progressing, there have been, times when the trauma from not making certain decisions or feel like you're missing out has affected like my decision making abilities. And hopefully like I can interview a psychologist so they can explain this a little bit better to me. But I didn't realize how much, fear or just experiences from like previous experiences could affect how you show up or how you make decisions, you know. Going back to that example that I was talking about, I really felt like the job would have been for me. It was with an organization that I feel strongly about. The pay was good. I knew someone in the company. There were just a lot of like good characteristics about the job. It's just because it wasn't aligned perfectly. I was scared. So I mean, like, what would you do? What would you do if you were praying about something or manifesting whatever you do, and when that thing comes, it doesn't show up like you think it's supposed to show up? Like, what would you do? Like, the position was in DC. I was in VA, had a whole apartment. I really thought back to like what made me so afraid to take that leap, to just jump. And if we can rewind it back to what, 2014, when I graduated, took a job at Walmart, hated it. Oh my gosh, I hated this. I was like, oh, this is not for me. I wanted nothing to do with the store, the corporation at all. And because I left that company, it took me a while to find a job, just a while to get financially stable. And so I was afraid to be without, I was afraid to do without a job. Like, I needed that stability. I needed to know that come the first of the month, I had money to pay my rent. Like, I needed to know that. So I ended up declining the offer and didn't take the job. I'm sure somebody else got it. I just automatically looked at the reasons why it wouldn't work instead of looking at how it could. Because it didn't look how I thought it was supposed to look, I just immediately was like, it's not going to work. So from that experience, I think it's important to view decisions in this manner. Weigh your options. Definitely weigh your options. Realize that although you can weigh your options, there are things that are just not under your control. So it's really going to take some divine intervention, or it is divine intervention that's happening. You just don't understand it. You don't see that yet. And just understand that you can adapt. You can adapt to the change. It's not going to be laid out on the yellow brick road. There are not going to be rose petals laid out to help you make the decision. But, you can adapt to the change. So there's definitely something better for you. There is a reason why you're in this phase of life that you are. And you have to just trust that what you're learning will help you in the future. Try not to get stuck or look at it as being stuck. Just, look at it as being like a season that you will eventually get through and you will eventually learn from. Go ahead and leave a comment, y'all, on the podcast, or go to, Instagram, TikTok, and let me know if you've had a similar experience. I would love to hear from y'all. All right, bye.